Alright, uh, so I wanted to make another video with my updated sketchbook, which last video I posted was like basically going back on schedule, but last video was basically about like the old sketchbook that I had, like the very first one, which it was a good amount of people like interacted with, so I appreciate it. And like asking questions and stuff. So I'm very like open to like any questions anybody has, but like any things they would need help on, or like any tips or anything like that. I'm like I love those type of questions and stuff. So but yeah, anyways, yeah, this one's gonna be a short update on my sketchbook. So I only did like a couple pages. These pages I've done like a while back, like a week or two ago, and it's gonna be like a shorter video because there's not that many pages, but I just want to, this is like long overdue. So but anyways, yeah, so this book, this first page I did, like that's after the last one I did right here. But yeah, so I just did like random dude, looks like mad insane. But I had like this I remember someone put another comment in one of my other videos, kind of like, they basically said like kind of like explain the thought process and stuff of like when I draw things. For me, when I draw things, it's never really like, my thought process is like, I really don't have, my thought process is the same. I can't draw my emotions. I just draw what I think it's cool, or something that pops up in my head. Then I'm like, okay, let me find a reference that's kind of similar, and then kind of draw that, etc., etc. But yeah, so yeah, so anyways, let me get back to this. But yeah, this dude, for this one I had like a kind of like imagine what I was imagining was like a dude with like kind of similar eyes, and I kind of like, because I would draw my eyes a certain way, so I kind of drew it different with the pupils like really small, and it's like a character design where like it's supposed to be like a tattoo and like X on the side. It, in my mind, I thought it was cool. May or may not look cool, but it's whatever. What I kind of actually referenced was this from my last page. I liked how this one came out, so I was like, okay, what if I made a character that kind of looked like that? But anyways, and then this, I kind of just worked on more poses and stuff. I tried to be a little bit, I guess, adventurous with it, which is something where I want to make a video where like I give like personal tips that help me get better at drawing. Yeah, this is one of them where it's like get out of my comfort zone and try things where like be more adventurous, as long as it's within my box of skills. So nothing that's like outrageous that I can't do at all, but something I'm not used to. So I just do like two poses with two girls. This one over here, I kind of messed up a little bit, but hey, it's, you know, it's the progress that counts, or at least the attempt that counts. And then yeah, so kind of mess up on the pose. It's supposed to be down looking up, but the way I kind of drew certain things, certain areas of the body, is kind of like I kind of forgot what perspective I was drawing from. And this one was a pose, you can kind of tell what kind of pose it is, or you can kind of make out what the character is doing. I didn't really bother with the hands. I kind of just was kind of lazy. I just try to focus on the pose. But yeah, as you see with the hands, I'm pretty decent. I really don't practice. I've said this like a million times. I really don't practice with hands, but it's just like getting the form down with the hands. All you really have to do is just get the form down with the hands, and then kind of do the details afterwards. I feel like too many people focus on drawing the fingers immediately, but just focus on drawing the hand as is. I feel like maybe in the future I'll make like a little like mini like warm-up sketch type thing video where I'm like just how I like warm up with certain things. But anyways, yeah, this is what I kind of drew for this. When I kind of draw things like this, even if it looks like just alright to me, as long as like the poses are different from what I'm used to doing, I kind of like it, I accept it as really good, because you know I made an attempt. And this one was, I came back to this page. I was actually done with this page, but I came back and drew these two characters right here. I kind of referenced a manga, so I just drew like characters. The characters in the reference were like standing in the rain and stuff. So it was a guy and a girl, but I kind of just drew, you know, just the characters and stuff. So it's the guy right here and then the girl right here. But it's like a whatever sketch, like just to get used to drawing full body and stuff. And then this one, yeah, this one. I should probably give me 1 second. Let me shift this right here. Okay, there you go. All right, so this one. What is the lighting? So okay. Yeah, so this one just drew some girls, some stuff. I think this was like the last drawing I did, like along with these drawings and stuff. And then I kind of like called it a night, so I kind of remember what I was doing, my thought process for this. I just kind of just drew like random stuff. This kind of things, I'm not really, I don't really look back and be like, oh, this is like decent. They're kind of like more like fails, so it's just like whatever. But you know, try to finish where I start. And what you can tell is like when I had my old sketchbook, there were so many unfinished drawings and like stuff where I was like I could have done more. Whereas opposed to like this book and like the last sketchbook I have, like my most recent sketchbooks, I try to finish everything I start. So you'll rarely see me like have something where I'm like, okay, let me quit and then start over again. It's kind of, I wouldn't say rarely, but barely, but it's like not common. And then this one, so as you can tell with hair, I'm not very good at drawing hair. This was supposed to be a girl with like, the one I referenced was like a girl with like really wet hair and it's like covering the eyes and stuff. So that's something I really gotta get better at. I think one of these days I gotta just really just gotta focus on like hair and just practicing hair and stuff. But yeah, this one was kind of unfinished. So I don't know why I unfinished it. I could have at least made it look a little better, but oh well. This is just the first 2 pages and I made the 7 minutes somehow. Incredible. Anyways, yeah, so this is kind of some stuff I experimented. So I love, when it comes to things that help me get better, I love experimenting with like different concepts. So I've always wanted to draw like different manga panels and stuff like that. Not copy, you know, artist manga panels or comic panels, but just like, you know, make it my own, just kind of just see, usually just as a reference. So I kind of like use some characters as a reference from like some random story I saw. I think it was, I forgot, it started with a G. I think it's getting anime like this year or next year. But yeah, just they had like a 4 block kind of thing. So I kind of just kind of like copy the characters, or if well, these 2 characters right here, I really didn't copy like that. I kind of just drew whatever. But yeah, I remember when I drew this, it didn't turn out good at all, but I just kept pushing it through and just kind of just kept drawing it. I was like, I gotta just at least finish it. And it actually came out better than I thought, so I was like, okay, that's pretty nice. But yeah, and then let me flip this over. Yeah, and then I kind of drew this manga panel as well. This one's unfinished because I didn't know what to put here, and I was just like, I don't know, so I just left it blank. But yeah, it was basically, so I kind of referenced the manga panels, but I kind of made it into my own a little bit. So it's basically a girl. The panel is basically just showing a girl and then the guy, girl and the guy, and basically it's like a love scenario, not scenario, but love scene, I guess. She's like holding his face, as you can clearly see with the hands and stuff. But yeah, and she's like blushing and stuff like that. But yeah, and then the heart and then the question mark. So stuff like that I actually like doing, so I might draw like more panels like that. The thing with panels is, I don't know how to explain it. It's kind of complicated, but anyway, so yeah. And then this one is just random girl on the panel. I kind of tried to draw something else, but I was just like, whatever, just draw a random girl. And next page, yeah, so this one I kind of just try to draw Kaneki from Tokyo Ghoul. Is it Kaneki? Kaneki? Anyways, yeah, from Tokyo Ghoul. Whenever I reference Tokyo Ghoul, it never turns out how I want it to look. I don't want to draw it like how it, you know, Kaneki looks in the manga, and I try to make it my own, but it just never looks how I really want it to. So even though, in my opinion, I think this looks good. I just referenced, Kaneki. But obviously you can see the eye, one eye and stuff. But it didn't really turn out how I wanted it, how I envisioned it. But it turned out so I liked it, but it just didn't turn out how I specifically wanted it. But yeah, and then just drew, hair. I gotta really get better at hair. I say this every video, but I really gotta get better at hair. So another panel here. Obviously you can see the face and stuff. And then I drew that other dude from Tokyo Ghoul. If you ever read Tokyo Ghoul, this is such a, I forgot, character dynamic. I think that's what they call it. It's when like two characters, usually they're an antagonist and a protagonist, and you see how like they kind of are like opposites. They kind of like play off of each other. So this is the one dude from Tokyo Ghoul, the CCG. I think, yeah, Amon. Yeah, I think that's his name. He's such a like good character dynamic with Kaneki, because it's like it's complicated, but it's like, to put it in simple terms, it's like one. It's like they try to understand each other. Kaneki and Amon, they try to understand each other, and then they kind of like switch sides. Kaneki's seen as a monster, Amon's seen as a good guy, and Amon's seen, turns into the monster. Kaneki's kind of seen as a good guy. They kind of have a really good character dynamic. I don't know why I'm explaining this. You can read it, But anyways, I just really like that character dynamic. Anyways, sorry for the rant. My phone died. I mean, not died, but ran out of storage. Anyways, let me speed this up a little bit. So yeah, this is an anatomy page. I want to go more in depth, and my freaking phone allow me, and my storage. But yeah, I want to go more in depth with this one. Let me just check if there's one more page. I think I drew something today. Okay, I drew multiple things. Okay, so this one was like before yesterday, and this is a result of like poor warm up. So I think warming up is very important, because this really did not turn out how I wanted. This one and this one. So this one was alright, it was cool. But this one, I felt like I was kind of like losing it. And I was just like, damn, it didn't really turn out how I wanted, because I didn't really warm up well. So I think the importance of warming up is really good, because I saw this and I was gonna start drawing today, and I did, and I was like, no, I gotta start warming up. So for me, I do random BS to warm up. I'll do like sometimes like skull. I'll do like eyes. I usually do shapes. That's like the go-to for a lot of people, is to do shapes, because when you draw people or different things, obviously you're not drawing a 2D form, you're drawing a 3D object, whether it be a person or a thing. So when you draw shapes, everything in this world that's, living or non-living is pretty much made up of shapes. So when you draw shapes, you're basically just drawing a lot of things. And then when you go into that mindset of like, all right, let me draw this, you want to make it look 3D, obviously, it's gonna take form, because you know the different dimensions and like how to draw them. So if I'm drawing a skull, the skull is like a spear within like a rectangle or a square. And if I know how to draw a square at different angles, or rectangles at different angles, when I go in and draw like a head for like, a character design or something, it's gonna look way better, because I'm drawing like the form instead of just like the 2D version of it. It's kind of hard to explain, but yeah. So this is like, all right, sorry for the change and the switch up. I have to unfortunately record on my iPad, because my phone is being dumb and won't allow me to record, and I don't want to keep stopping in the middle of what I'm saying and interrupt the flow of the video. But anyways, but yeah, so I hope the quality is not too bad. But yeah, I want to say the importance of warming up is really like, it makes such a difference for me, and it's such a night and day difference. It's actually insane. Like when I warm up, there's most of the time, I have such a good like flow with drawing. It's like insane. Like, so when I warm up, let me just go over these real quick. So these are just like just random stuff I drew. This one actually came out pretty decent. I just need to work on drawing the teeth and stuff. I feel like I mess it up. I get the form down right, but when it comes to details, I just completely like fuck it up. So, and then dude with the hoodie, and then this dude. It was one of those Pinterest pics I've been saving to like draw very well, but it came out terrible, and that's because I did not warm up. So this one I drew today, these are like whatever, but the main things I really kind of focus on drawing was this doing the right with the spiky here, and then right here, the dude right there on the left, or in the middle, I guess I should say. But yeah, I feel like for me, those came out good, like how I wanted it to, and that's because I really warmed up. So going back to the anatomy page, oh, this is so hard recording on my iPad. Yeah, so going back to like the anatomy page, you can see like I warmed up with the skull. I spent like a whole maybe like 45 minutes, 45 minutes, just drawing like the skull, random stuff, kind of like taking my time with drawing and everything. So when I drew this, I kind of like was like, all right, I want to draw some, like different heads of the characters and stuff. So let me focus on the skull. As you can see, I really took my time. Well, not took my time, but I really tried to practice. I drew from different angles, the skull at different angles, this from different angles, and I kind of just practiced more. It's never really good to just hop in and then just draw something right away. I feel like for beginner artists, they really don't understand. They really don't know the concept of warming up. For me, I was the same way. I just hop it right into it and draw. Some days I'll draw way better than others, but warming up is so important because I think warming up for like 30 minutes is really good for me. That's perfect for me. It seems like a lot, but it's like, it's the warm up. Like, if you play like a sport, you're not gonna just, when you practice or when you have a game and you guys are just going through routines and stuff, you're not gonna go like 100% right into it. You're gonna warm up so that way when you go game speed, you know what you're doing because you kind of like mentally went through it and took your time with the warm up. But it's like the same thing here. Anything like that requires some type of like, I don't know, like preparation, you warm up. And that's the same thing that applies with drawing. So this is why I really took my time with this. I start to really appreciate pages like these because, for me personally, because I'm like warming up and like I'm just doing different things. So my warm-ups are really like scattered all over the place. They're not really organized. So I'll do like skulls. You see, I drew like random noses, random faces, and stuff like that, and kind of like silhouettes of like the eye sockets and like the nose and stuff like that. So just to get better and kind of get like a sense of what the hell I'm drawing. I'm realizing that this is supposed to be like kind of like an update of my sketchbook, but I'm kind of like giving tips here and there, which I want to make a separate video. It's gonna be lame. I'm not gonna have any fancy edits or anything. I'm just gonna put my sketchbook and compare, like bring on, like assemble all my sketchbooks or the main ones that I want to talk about and kind of show you the differences and how like the stuff that helped me get better.